way to this building. Can you see the tallest building that you see in front of you right now?
To your left.
To your left, just behind the Symphony Center. We're going to be going to the top floor, and we're going to be hanging out up there for about an hour. And we'll get to walk around the whole building and see all of downtown from really up high.
Well, 20 just skip from 7 to 20.
Dang, maybe you skip to people are working. It's a lot. It feels good to look down at everything and just explore things that I've never seen when I'm actually down on the ground.
It's too tall. I mean, it's too high.
No, it's scary if I look down there. I think I'm
Something that I think is really exciting for our city, if y'all want to come over and look at this. This is the new park that's being built on the riverfront. And this is going to be a park that's going to have all those like water jets and spray things, and you can go there. It's free. It's a park that will be open for everybody. You can see it's between the two bridges. And that should be open later this summer. It's called the Adventure Play Park. See all the like the warehouse buildings and the recycling center is between here and the interstate. That is an area that we're going to be focusing on next week in our design workshops that we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking that whole area and re-envisioning it as a neighborhood. So if you imagine that all of that stuff is gone, what would you design as your ideal neighborhood to be there?
Oh my God.
And the plants drink the water.
I love this. Come on, go ahead.
Over the last 10 years, it's really gotten more popular is to see green roofs like this. We've been working on green roofs since the early 90s. This green roof was completed 2 years ago, and I understand that you were able to walk through it. Essentially, it has a private space for Vasper and Sims, who are in their offices here, and then there's a common space for all the tenants.
Has everybody been across this bridge before?
No.
Okay.
Don't tell stories. I want to walk.
This is the pedestrian bridge. Come down here, you can have a great view of the city.
It's fine. I know it's fine.
Got going on here with the two new buildings. I actually used to live in this building over here when I first moved to Nashville. And then you can see also where the parking lots are still, they have plans for all of these parking lots to turn into developments like these. They call it the Gulch because historically the old railroad tracks ran through, see the trains over there? And it was a naturally depressed area, like lower than the rest of the city, and they just put the trains through there. and it was always called the Railroad Gulch.
I know y'all be hot. So now you gonna be like this like
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Everybody's fired. No. You're fired. I know I'm fired.
Welcome out, guys and gals. Nice to meet you today. My name is Scott Black. I am the manager of Budget Finance Administration for the Convention Center Authority. We represent the ownership or the metro government to build the building. And just to highlight it, some of the big things we got. So we have an 8-acre room. In order to service this, we have parking for 32 tractor trailers up 4 stories in the air.
So one of the neat things about this building is that it's going to have a spectacular collection of public art. We're currently working with the Metro Arts Commission. We've worked with the Civic Design Center to help us think through exactly what this public art program should be.
The project is $585 million.
$585 million?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this building going to run off of solar power?
Just parts of it. Like we have, one of the requirements for Metro is that all its buildings are LEED certified. So there are green features that we'll have in this building, like low flush toilets. We're collecting our rainwater in a huge tank out in this general area that will then go back and irrigate the site.
So 65-foot grade change from here to here. So if you stand here and look straight down this way, you'd see 6 stories in the air. This line is the same roof line as that.
It just goes up.
But it stays flat. The land is what changes.
The hill,
yeah, it comes up the hill.
And then there's the wave of the roof. You see the curves in it? And there's the street. There's the street that goes through this.
So look right here. Oh! See how it goes all the way through?
See how you can see through the building right there? There's the road over there. To start off the day, we actually have 2 very special guests. We have Mayor Carl Dean, who's just coming in, and we have Vice Mayor Neighbors. So, Mayor Dean, thank you for coming. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's all right.
This is a group of students who are working with the Civic Design Center, the Oasis Center, and Watkins for a program called Design Your Neighborhood.
Well, first of all, welcome to the courthouse and welcome to the metropolitan government. So our form of government is more efficient, I believe. It results in us having a larger government because we are governing a larger area. I mean, Nashville as a city, the 503 square miles, we are geographically one of the largest cities in the country. All right, everybody smile.
If you have an issue that's near and dear to you, that you'd like to have some discussion about, raise your hand and I'll turn your microphone on.
Okay, my issue is uniforms in school.
Okay, whether or not to have them.
Yeah, I don't want to have uniforms anymore.
Okay, we have a motion to no longer require. Is there a second? Okay, any other discussion on this? Okay, we are going to vote using the buttons on your desk. You have a yes, a no, and an abstain. Okay, the motion to no longer require mandatory uniforms passes, at least in here.
How did it feel to have that power of voting in your fingertips there?
It feels nice, but I was more satisfied if it was a real vote.
Okay.
Like the vote actually took place.
And this tower is, it's an elevator tower that goes down to the parking garage, but it also serves as an observation deck. But all around here, there's information about Nashville, historically, how it's developed. Like, this was the old courthouse, and that's called Citizen, is the name of that piece. And they have a wheel on them. Yeah, they have a wheel, and you can crank it, and the piece will actually pivot around. artist here, and she was in the process of putting all this up today. They were asking some questions about the art.
Art has to be so abstract. The explanation is long to get it. I think when it's immediate, if you don't feel something, it just didn't work.
How many of you have been in this space? So what people did is they organized into lunch line counter sit-in protests. And lunch lines were a big thing back in the 1960s and 50s, where you go and it's kind of like the old-fashioned diner, where you'd sit at the table and there'd be the bar stool, and people would serve you from behind. Where black people organized, and they went and they walked in and sat down, and they just sat there and they wanted to order food, just like white people were allowed to do. And so that started what was called lunch counter protest, and that eventually led to the mayor of the city basically saying that we're not going to practice segregation here. And he'll actually be working with us next week, so you'll get a chance to meet him. He can talk more about the building. But as you can see the old, the roof rafters and the columns, and then they've come in and put a lot of new stuff in with the walls and everything. And that in architecture we call this adaptive reuse, which means you're taking an old building and you're renovating it and you're using it for new purposes. The interior design too is really nice, the way it's kind of subdivided and allows all these different functions to happen. I mean, this was essentially an old warehouse building.
If you were gonna make up a park, what kind of thing would you really love to go and do? What's the little thing they used to have in cars go around? Some kind of place for little kids? Yep, that's a good idea. While you're starting the charrettes early next week, keep in the back of your mind, like, what is the coolest, funnest thing that I would want in this place?
The transition just from this to that is amazing. I mean, it's just beautiful. Then we just come in and frame up the walls in the right place and rough in the plumbing. From that point, it really just becomes like a standard interior build out. But you can see the condition we started in. We'll just keep going, guys, all the way to the elevator.
Just take notice of the different colors and how they play off each other. You've got a purple and kind of a yellowish mustard color, and then you've got the red over there.
And as soon as you walk into this loft, the picture that's right in front of you, all of those colors kind of play off that one picture.
You can kind of see the rounded, very smooth kind of forms in the corners over there, and see how instead of really sharp edges, there's just kind of a roundness to the edges. That's a quality of some of the Art Deco style. Again, there's a lot of great, almost like incorporation of artwork into the design of the building. And this is actually, I think, the logo, the insignia of the Frisk Center.
Other than like the business aspect of supporting local businesses, do you think why you might want a local product?
Because it's fresher.
Grow the most fresh. They grow them.
Kroger or Publix or Savers or wherever you're at, it'll tell you where it's from. That'll be your first indication of do I want this or not. This actually smells like cucumber lotion. It smells, you can actually smell this one. This is one that's probably grown in Peru. And you can smell the difference between the two.
Over there at Smiley's, Smiley's is getting us, or is doing this for us. So.
guys coming down. I hope you have a great afternoon. I know where you're going. You're going to love it.
Which means that they have a set of standards for green features as far as how well sealed our building is, the types of windows we use, the roofing material that we use, and the recyclable materials that we use. Does anybody know what pervious concrete does? Well, what this does is when it rains, the water pours right through it and goes back into the soil, so you don't have runoff. Whoa! See that?
Oh, wow.
If a lot more people had solar panels, it would put a lot more electricity back on the grid, so they wouldn't have as much problems generating during peak hours.
I know. Y'all was stopping it.
Yeah.
Here's my part.
The original structure of this house is log, and it was built in 1842, and it was built by a guy named John Bell, but he really didn't live in it at all or very long. The material that's in this house is a lot better than like most new houses you build now, because it's the big old trees that you don't have as many of anymore that this house was built out of. So.
That's a snake.
It's a colorful snake.
It's pretty. Oh, look. It is pretty.
How has everybody's experience been over the last couple of weeks with this project? Everybody had a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to create a logo, and we're going to create some packaging for your film that's going to be put out next year. I'd really like to get your guys' feedback, because, you know, when we work with clients and we put together brand identities for them, it really depends on them telling us their story. We moved into this space a year and a half ago. It was actually January of 2010. And before we moved into it, this was actually a diesel engine repair shop. The next area back here is our project management area. So we'll do a lot of testing, and as I showed you guys, we produced a lot of videos, things of that nature. So we have a need to come in and make sure things work the way they're supposed to work. From 30 years ago, and you can touch one of those over there on the side. It's a touchscreen? Yeah, it's a touchscreen.
What's that? Can I say something? If you like.
Go ahead and rap.
Yo, my name is So. I can't rap. Let me out of.
These are our graphic designer. Adam Goleniewski is our creative director. Talk to us about what you've been doing for the last 4 weeks.
Okay, we went around like downtown Nashville and saw all maybe like, well, we went to the public square, we went to the courthouse, and we looked at the architecture there. And we've mostly been looking at like historic places and seeing how like they relate to our neighborhoods.
Not only can you have good ideas, they can become reality.
Because of the beautiful thing about ideas becoming reality, you're changing other people's lives as well.
Whether it's a park or a website or a documentary film, everything happens because of design.